Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's debate on the ripe topics of bananalism versus Communana. I'm your moderator, Bananalism, and we have with us two distinguished debaters. On my left, we have Bonoldo, who will be defending bananalism, a philosophy that champions the pursuit of individual ripeness and the freedom of each banana to grow and shine independently. On my right is Communana, representing Communana, which emphasizes the importance of bananas growing together in a supportive bunch, advocating for collective progress and mutual support over individual effort. Bonaldo is going to start us off with his opening statement, which will be followed up by Communana's opening statement, and then we can go back and forth from there. The floor is yours.
Fellow bananas, thank you for gathering here today. I stand before you not just as a proud banana, but as a representative of an ideal, bananalism. For too long, we've been told that the only way to ripen is by sticking with the bunch, relying on others to determine when and how we reach our peak. But I ask you, is that really what we want? Should our potential be tied to those who may not share our ambition, our drive, or our ripeness? In bananalism, we recognize that each banana is unique. We all grow differently. Some of us are born with the will and determination to ripen faster, to stand out, to become the best banana we can be. Why should we suppress that drive? Why should we be forced to wait for others to catch up when we could be basking in the sunlight of our own accomplishments? In this philosophy, we believe in the power of individual fruitness, the right to grow, ripen, and be enjoyed at our own pace. Bananalism is not about leaving others behind. It's about showing what's possible when you strive for greatness. The pursuit of ripeness, the ambition to be better than you were yesterday, and the freedom to grow without being held back by the limitations of the bunch. That is the core of what we stand for. It is competition that drives progress, that prevents stagnation, that keeps us fresh and vibrant. When you give a banana the space to grow on its own terms, it doesn't just benefit itself, it sets an example for others to follow. So today, I urge you to consider this. We are not just part of a bunch. We are individuals with the potential for greatness. Let us embrace the pursuit of our own ripeness. Let us strive for excellence. And let us show the world what a banana can truly achieve when it is free to ripen on its own. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to see that there are a bunch of bananas here today, and that is also a great segue into the crucial idea that I intend to defend during this debate. I'm here to talk about something much bigger than individual ripeness. I'm here to discuss community, cooperation, and the undeniable bond we share as part of the bunch. This is the core principle of Communana. We believe in the collective. The idea that no banana should ripen alone, because the true strength of any banana lies in its connection to the bunch. As bananas, we don't grow in isolation. We're born in clusters, and it's in those clusters that we find protection, nourishment, and stability. Growing together ensures that each of us has a chance to thrive. When we ripen as one, we are stronger. The bunch provides balance, distributing the sunlight, moisture, and nutrients in a way that benefits everyone. If a banana ripens too quickly on its own, what happens? It detaches, it loses its connection, and it starts to decay. But within the bunch, each banana is shielded from damage, ripening at a pace that keeps everyone fresh and resilient. In Communana, we reject the idea that individual ripeness should be the goal. We recognise that success isn't about who can turn yellow the fastest. It's about ensuring that every banana is able to achieve ripeness. When we grow together, we share the ripening process, supporting each other through the challenges. The bruises, the brown spots, the pressures of the outside world, they're easier to withstand when we're part of something greater. And what of fairness? In Communana, no banana takes more than its share. No banana ripens at the expense of another. We believe in equality, where each fruit has a right to its time in the sun. It's through this unity that we find true ripeness. By working together, we ensure that the bunch stays fresh, vibrant, and ready for whatever challenges lie ahead. So I ask you today, Do you want to be a banana chasing ripeness alone, or do you want to be part of something stronger, something more meaningful? Communana offers a path where no banana is left behind, where every fruit contributes to the success of the bunch. Thank you.
Joshua Nana, your vision of Communana sounds harmonious, but it's crucial to examine its underlying assumptions and potential pitfalls. You talk about the strength of growing as a bunch and the protection it offers, but let's consider the broader implications of this approach. Firstly, relying on the bunch to determine ripeness means that the fastest and most ambitious bananas are often held back. By trying to synchronize ripeness across the bunch, we risk stifling those bananas that could shine individually. You argue for fairness and unity, but isn't there a danger in uniformity? The world outside the bunch is not so accommodating. In reality, bananas that don't stand out may become overripe or bruised while waiting for others. In Bananalism, we celebrate the unique ripeness of each banana, allowing those who are ready to flourish without constraint. This approach not only respects individuality, but also prevents the stagnation that can occur when the whole bunch is forced to conform to a single pace. Furthermore, you mention the protection a bunch offers, but what about the risks of this collective approach? When one banana starts to spoil, it affects the entire bunch. Is that not a fundamental flaw in Communana? The dangers of rot and decay are very real, and by remaining part of the bunch, bananas are vulnerable to these risks. In Bananalism, a banana that reaches its peak can detach if needed, avoiding potential damage from a deteriorating bunch. This independence ensures that the best ripeness is maintained and celebrated, rather than compromised by the slow or damaged bananas around it. On the moral front, Bananalism embraces the idea of every banana having the right to pursue its own path to ripeness. It's about empowering each fruit to strive for its best, to set an example, and to achieve greatness on its own terms. This philosophy recognizes that true potential comes from individual effort and ambition, not from conforming to a collective standard.
While I appreciate your enthusiasm for bananalism, I must respectfully challenge some of your points, Banaldo. You argue for the celebration of individual ripeness and the freedom to grow at one's own pace, but let us likewise dive into the practicalities and potential drawbacks of your philosophy. Firstly, your concept of individual ripeness assumes that every banana has the opportunity to thrive without constraints. However, in a real-world context, bananas that ripen too quickly and detach from the bunch often face a harsher environment. The very freedom you advocate for can also expose bananas to risks such as pests and decay, which they might have avoided if they had remained within the supportive structure of the bunch. Communana recognizes that bananas grow best when they are protected and supported by their peers. The collective strength of the bunch ensures that each banana receives the nourishment and care needed to reach its full potential. Moreover, you suggest that being part of a bunch limits the ambition of bananas, but consider the value of mutual support and shared growth. In Communana, bananas are not merely waiting for each other to catch up. They are growing together in a symbiotic relationship. The ripening process is enhanced by the collective energy and encouragement of the bunch. This unity fosters a healthier environment where each banana can achieve its best without the risk of isolation or damage. The pace of growth might be slower, but it's balanced by the protection and stability provided by the bunch. Regarding the risk of decay affecting the bunch, Communana offers a strategy for dealing with such challenges. The bunch works together to address issues like rot, with each banana supporting and compensating for the others. This collective approach ensures that even if one banana begins to spoil, the overall health of the bunch is maintained. It's about managing risks collectively, rather than leaving individual bananas vulnerable.
I appreciate the group hug approach of Communana, but let's be real. If every banana had to wait for the bunch to ripen, we'd all end up overripe and mushy before we even had a chance to shine. It's like trying to win a race by tying everyone's peels together. Noble, but a bit of a mess. You talk about mutual support, but let's face it, there's a risk of getting caught in the bunch's rot. In bananalism, we let bananas reach their full potential without being held back by a bunch that's more concerned with keeping everyone in line. We're talking about letting bananas blossom individually, not waiting around for a bunch that's perpetually behind the curve. So, while Communana might offer a cozy bunch, bananalism lets bananas be their best selves without getting squashed under collective pressure. Sometimes you've got to peel off and show what you're really made of.
Bernaldo, I see you've got a flair for dramatics, but let's not get too carried away. Sure, bananalism sounds all glamorous and individualistic, but it's a bit like saying, I'm too good for the bunch, while leaving the bunch to deal with the mess you left behind. You talk about peels getting squashed, but in reality, it's a bit more like bananas dropping out of the race because they didn't have the support of their bunch. Sure, ripening alone might sound like a solo career, but without a bunch to back you up, you're just another banana hoping for the best. The bunch provides stability and protection from the real world's rough and tumble. And let's not forget, while you're busy peeling off to show off your ripeness, some bananas might be missing out on the benefits of shared growth. Communana isn't about holding anyone back. It's about creating a balanced environment where everyone can thrive together. So before you start flaunting your solo ripeness, remember that sometimes sticking with the bunch means better chances for everyone. Keep that in mind before you get too ripe for your own good.
It's clear that you're more comfortable in the bunch's safety net, hiding behind the facade of communal support. But let's get real. You're basically defending a system where individuality is crushed under the weight of mediocrity. Instead of letting bananas shine, you're promoting a cozy conformist environment where ambition is stifled. It's like you're saying that bananas should just accept being average, as long as everyone else is too. Communana sounds like a one-size-fits-all approach, where those who want to achieve more are dragged down by the bunch's slow pace. It's not about fairness, it's about keeping everyone at the same level, even if it means sacrificing the potential of the best and brightest bananas. You talk about stability and protection, but what you're really advocating is a bland, uninspired existence where the bunch is the end-all be-all. It's a nice way to avoid the real challenges of ripening in the world. By focusing on the collective, you're ignoring the reality that some bananas are meant to stand out and be exceptional. So, while you're busy defending this bunch-centric bubble, remember that it's the individual effort that drives progress and sets new standards. If you want to stay in the bunch, fine, but don't pretend that holding everyone back is a recipe for success. Bananalism celebrates those who dare to glow just a bit more golden yellow, who strive for excellence without getting bogged down by the mediocrity of the group. If that scares you, maybe it's time to reconsider what's really holding you back.
It's truly amusing how passionately you defend bananalism. But let's not kid ourselves. Your entire pitch sounds like a desperate attempt to glorify individualism while conveniently ignoring the chaos that ensues when bananas ripen in isolation. It's like you're advocating for a banana free-for-all, where every fruit is left to fend for itself in a jungle of competition. You claim that Communana stifles ambition, but what you're really saying is that you're scared of the idea of working together. If your idea of success is a cutthroat, me-first attitude, then sure, bananalism fits right in. But let's not pretend that tearing down the bunch to make way for individual ripeness is a recipe for anything other than a messy pile of overripe bananas.
Overripe bananas? What an absurd notion. It's as if you think that the sweetness of a banana is something to look down on. We should strive for ripeness. Your true colors are exposed in that one statement, and that color certainly isn't yellow.
I don't see how the colour of my peel has anything to do with this
come
debate,
on.
but I can't say I am surprised. It always devolves from individual grandstanding to deprecation of other bananas you find lesser than yourself.
Give me a break. You are taking my statement completely out of context. I am not saying that you personally are not yellow. I am saying that the ideals you represent lack the golden hue of an admirable philosophy. Don't try to deflect a good argument with banana-identity politics.
Banana-identity politics?
Clearly what I am getting
That's rich coming from you.
Clearly
Isn't
what?
bananalism all about
Clearly
identity
what I am trying to get
of
at.
the individual at its very
Are you
core?
going to let me finish my point?
Seems like someone is projecting,
Please,
if you ask me.
I did not interrupt you.
But what do I know? I'm just a bunch-brained banatic. who apparently isn't yellow enough to have an opinion. Go ahead, I'm done.
No, go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say.
I'm not going to try to waste time talking over each other.
Fine. Look, it's simple. At the end of the day, we all share a tree with our neighbour bananas, so we have to learn to get along. We can't be afraid of our individual banana holding us back. We have to embrace every single banana and lift up the bunch to save ourselves from, I don't know, maybe the monkeys trying to devour us? Maybe the pests trying to burrow into our peels and rot us from the inside out? Do you think one banana stands a chance on its own? No matter how golden, no matter how ripe, it's doomed.
Are you trying to tell me that you think a banana bunch stands a chance against a monkey? I'll give you 10 bananas, 100 bananas. Heck, I'll give you 1,000 bananas. That bunch loses to the monkey 9 times out of 10. And that 10% chance is only offered because monkeys are so stupid. And there is no stopping the pests, my friend. There are 2 things that never change in this banana world. Pests and taxes, as the great Benjamin Franklin once said. To try and prop up your entire ideology on fear-mongering over predators and primates is exactly what is wrong with bananalosophy today. 2 rots don't make a ripe.
2 rots may not make a ripe, but isn't it also true that one must choose the lesser of 2 rots? No one is trying to pretend that there is some banatopian answer for all the banana world's woes. A cruel, harsh, unforgiving world that would just as soon devour us as it would slip upon the peel it left behind. I thank you for your time, but I think we've taken this to its inevitable ad hominem conclusion that most of these debates devolve into. So let's just move on to the question and answer period, if you would be so obliged.
And to think I was just beginning to have fun. All jokes aside, sure. Let's move to Q&A.
Thank you both for your engaging and spirited arguments. It's clear that both perspectives offer unique insights into the banana world. We now move on to our viewer Q&A period. I'd like to acknowledge the man in the red shirt who has stepped up to ask the first question. Sir, please go ahead with your inquiry.
Is this an out-of-season Banana Fools joke?